Hey everyone, welcome to the show, episode 51, West Coast Draft Chats. So we're going to talk about the West Coast Football Club today, the West Coast Eagles, a team inside Perth, one of the WA sides. So let's get into it. We're going to talk about their first pick. At pick 1, the number 1 draft pick, William Dersma. Pick 4, Cooper Duff Tyler. And also pick 19, Josh Lindsay. Pick 29, Sam Allen. Pick 39, Tyler Williams. And also in the rookie draft, going at pick 1, Fred Rodriguez. So we want to start with the number 1 draft pick. In the draft, the most talked about number 1 pick and player of the draft. And there's none other than William Dersma. Obviously, Xavier Dersma's brother. And Zane Dersma from North Melbourne. And possibly could be the best Dersma of the lot. So he comes in, standing at 193 centimetres. He's a utility. He's a guy you can play anywhere. We covered him a fair bit in the Victorian draft chats. He's been covered all over the joint. But we're going to talk about him. We're going to talk about the type of player he is. He obviously has Bontempelli traits. Absolutely. So, yeah, he's an athletic utility. He can play in about just every position on the ground. His ability to hit the ball and also break away from contests, the way he carries and runs, is very much like a Bontempelli type player. He's also got great aerial ability. While there's been a few talks about who the number 1 pick should be, as I mentioned, there's a couple players that particularly Dyson Sharp, but also William Dersma. They both got the same sort of pedigree. William Dersma, obviously the MVP of the Under-16 Championships, and Dyson Sharp of the Under-18, so that there's no doubt that this guy does deserve it too, being number 1. We want to give him all that credit for all that hard work he's done, so... Throughout 2025, Dersma has been long touted to be the contender for the coveted prize of the number 1 pick. The Gippsland Power prospect is to become the 4th of the siblings to make it at elite AFL level. As elder brothers Xavier in 2018's draft, Zane in 2023, and also his sister Yasmin in the 2022 draft for the AFLW. The Dersma family has had quite a big impact, especially in the Gippsland region from where they're originally from. His father, Dean, was awarded life membership. His induction came in the same night as William took out the Gippsland's Powers Best and Fairest, so they have those sorts of awards on those nights. A great night for the family, so well done to his father, and also William taking out the Best and Fairest award for Gippsland. He was also the captain of this year's Coates Talent League Team of the Year, and also placed second in the Morris Medal. He also had made an impression on the representative stage after claiming All-Australian honours in Vic Country's MVP award of the 2023 Under-16 Championship, as I mentioned. And this year, to do the same at Under-18 level this year, he was awarded the prestigious AFL Life Members Scholarship and inducted into the National Academy of 2025. Stamping his esteem amongst the best of this year's crop. He completed his come up with the top age appearance in Gippsland colours this year, having made his debut alongside his brother in 2023, so he played with his brother when he was underage, showing and highlighting how good of a player he is, and achievements and followed along as his brother's footsteps. Zane, also Xavier, has been a bit older. He earned the bottom age berth with Vic Country last year as he stepped up to VFL level, also with 2 appearances with the Casey Demons in 2025, while also taking out Also by his own recollection, Dersma started the season inconsistently, but took a mindset shift and began to dominate in the second half of his top age campaign. Versatility has always been a strength of his game, and being able to play different positions is very important, and the impact that he has on the game, and also a reason why he's highly regarded. So we're going to talk a bit about his strengths. And his aerial ability, athleticism, obviously covers the ground quite well. His ability to be versatile in different positions. Clean hands. His contested game need to be worked on a bit. His kicking consistency, sometimes he has made a mistake or two by kicking. But he's working pretty hard, so I can accept that. I think most teams understand that. And not that, that's just the way it is sometimes. He's working his guts out. And, no one's perfect, and they're going to make some mistakes. And the kicking's one consistency he needs to work on. But that being said, he gets enough of the ball. I don't think that's a problem. Having played plenty of high-level basketball growing up, so he's quite a talented basketballer as well. It's no surprise Dersman's most prominent strengths are his aerial ability. Sent at 193 centimetres, which is quite big for a midfielder. So, he's got that Patrick Cripps size about him as well. Yeah, so he's, plays quite tall for his size. Obviously, standing at 193. He can play in defence as a halfback as well. He's dominant in the craft of either area. He has a fluent leap and can access the ball at the top flight of his reach. With a great extension as the overhead mark, so he catches at his peak, especially for his size, which he's going to get over a lot of midfielders. So yeah, he's ground and up forward work and back to back running, so he's got the ability to gut run quite hard. He's spent much of his time on the ball and also off the ball at different positions, making him a mobile threat. Credit to his 87 centimetre running vertical jump, so that's placed him 9th best on the combine, and consistently took strong grabs inside 50, and also leading to scoreboard opportunities. He kicked 16 goals in 13 games for the Power this year, the Gippsland Power. So yeah, he has the ability to go down forward and take marks and kick goals. So that's just a great. So he can play off the halfback. He can play in a midfield as a good running mid, and he can run all the way down forward and all rest down forward to take a good grab and kick at least an average of 1.3 goals a game, which is important, or something like that. 16 and 13, just quick maths there. But yeah, the ability to at least kick a goal a game is very important. And also translates to his ever-evolving midfield craft. And he also has sought to improve his on-ground level of handling throughout the year. He obviously has a high workload, so he works through that. He also has good follow-up work and shows that his strengths is his clean hands and quick work of running out of the contest with speed, and the ability to use the ball quite damaging coming out of that. But yeah, he's been in a lot of different roles, but he considers himself to be used in the midfield is where he wants to be. So outside of the contest is where Dersma's athleticism shines. He's a true all-rounder. He has the unique ability to glide across the turf effortlessly, and he's always threatening with ball in hand. So yeah, he when I see him run with the ball, there's no doubt you're looking at a Bontempelli type player. The guy, I don't think I see many guys so close to the way they run and carry the ball. It's very fascinating. You could just see some players and you go, wow, that does look like someone on field. And I think Bontempelli is a great player to be a clone type player. There's a few of them, like Layla obviously looks like Dustin Martin when he's out and about on the ground, the way he He marks and kicks and gets out of the contest. And I still think Dersma's very much Montepelli type player. So it's quite interesting, and seeing that from that aspect, he's going to have a great career for the Eagles. There's no doubt about that. So his dynamic movement makes him the ability to cut through traffic, and with a lot of meters gained, the ability to use the ball by foot or hand and chain linking play is a very much a great ability that he has. The running power is also another athletic trait that he has. At the combine, he placed 6th in the 2K time trial, achieving a sub 3 second 20 meter sprint too. So a good gas tank, good sprint, good IQ, versatility. He can chop out and play as a second or third tool at either end of the ground, making him even more of a threat any position that he plays. Also the craft on the wing, he can play on the wing. He's established on baller. This guy's just an all-round consistent player on all facets of the field. So he is doing, he is a team player who's willing to do whatever it needs to take and help wherever they needed him in a position in the team. So great team first attitude. I like that as well. It's good to be a good player, but only that he has team first traits. I think that shows a lot of leadership. The main knock on him was his contested game, but he's a wiry type who's efficient in time, space, and needs to enhance their physicality and effort to be inside in order to properly improve his midfield credentials, to be that absolute gun. Like, there's no doubt he's only young. He's going to fill out. So, once he's like that size of a Bontempelli and he's like had a couple pre-seasons, this guy, I think he's still going to be good straight off the bat. But you can see that this guy will improve over time and his game will only get better and better. There's no doubt about that. He boosted his tackle numbers and also aggression at the ball. He even highlighted his 10-tackle game against Tasmania in round 17 as his favourite of the year because of how improvement showed in that area. So, he's got a bit of determination to want to tackle, want to grab, want to chase. To have that determination to improve his game, it is very important because you have to have that facet of the game. You have to want to tackle, you have to want to chase. You have to want to get a bit, the physical, not everyone's built to have those traits. And if you naturally just do it and you're determined to do it, that's what makes a great footballer. But his kicking consistency, as we mentioned, he takes risks by foot. So, delivering a flat and penetrating pass in the long range. Although he ran steady at a 68% kicking efficiency at the national championships. It was still pretty high. It's just under 3/4 of his kicks efficient. I think that's still quite good for how much ball he's get. And that's at the national championships level, which is the highest level for his age. And particularly under pressure, is more generally he has previously been composed the effective distributor throughout his junior career. He's a player that just likes to pull the trigger and inflict maximum damage by foot. I think that's great trait of confidence. He wants to get in there, do the hard work, extract the ball, kick it forward, trying to hit a target. He's just working hard, like I mentioned. A trait he observed off his big brother Zane is when Williams stand up when games are there to be won and become particularly clutch goal kicker in the second halves. He knows he can be a difference maker and nearly always the best player on the park. So he holds himself in good esteem, high esteem. He wants to win the game. He puts his team on his back. He carries them. And that's why this man went at number 1. So I still think he was in the second best team country. He was their best player by far. And alongside the South Australians, there's no doubt this man should be where he is. I think he deserves it as well. And well done, mate. You are a West Coast Eagle. I hope the West Coast can keep you. Hope Harley Reid. So they got a couple different types of midfielders now. Harley Reid can be more of an inside ball, where William Desmond will be a bit of everything there. So they got two really gun midfielders that could probably carry the club for the next 10 years. It's whether they keep them or not. Whether that will be the mission for the West Coast Eagles. I think that covers him pretty well. I'm pretty happy with that. We're going to talk about the next player. We're going to talk about pick 4, Cooper Duff Tyler. Rated as the best ruck/forward in the draft. Stand at 201 centimetres. So he was choosing to pursue a career in Australian rules football over basketball. He was quite good at basketball. He's a prospect who has the capability to revolutionise the way the ruck role is played, and his movement and ability to cover the ground. So he's got a good gas tank for his size, and we're going to see him play quite well. We did see a lot of the taller guys go a bit later in the draft. Schumbert went, I can't remember where he went, but I think he was a later pick in the 18 to 20 something mark. I had him higher, but this guy is in the same mold as that. He is one of the best key position players and also rucks prospect in recent seasons. The Calder Cannons product, Cooper Duff Tyler, who only over the last 12 months ago decided to pursue an AFL career. So he is a graduate from Penly and Essendon Grammar, and played most of his junior career with the Wood End in the Riddle District Football League, where he eventually made his senior debut in 2024. Before being assigned to Coates Talent League program, Duff Tyler represented Vic Metro at the Under-16s National Championships in 2023, and in his first game against Vic Country would prove to be impressive one. The follow-up work as his athleticism and the ruck work. That same year, he represented Australia's Under-16s at the FIBA Asian Cup, so he played in the Australian national basketball team Under-16s. So that's really where he has to choose. Coming up to 18, he's got to choose, obviously, whether he's going to have an AFL career or go to the US and go to college and play basketball. And he chose the AFL, so I think he should be, thanks and props to him for wanting to stay in the country and play this great game of AFL. That's what it means to people in Australia. For those who are outside of Australia that are listening, we have a few people overseas watching, and that's one reason why he quite enjoys that. And after dominating the AGSV First 18 football to start off 2024, he would eventually unleash into the Coates Talent League scene in May. He'll also represent Vic Metro at the Under-17s trial game against Queensland, where he played as a forward. And while it was a rough day, he showed resilience through the scoreboard. In the last quarter, kicked 2 goals. And then backed it up with an excellent 2024 Coates Talent League season, which included a 30 disposal and 3-goal effort against Dandenong Stingrays. So he knows how to get plenty of the ball for a big fella. Kicked a few goals too on top of that, 3 for. And also winning the much anticipated ruck battle against Lewis Emmett. In the wildcard round loss against the Oakley Chargers. And also, again, impressed for the team. Sloan in the Under-17s Grand Final curtain raiser at the MCG. Heading into the 2025 season, he was excited with the progress that had been made. He was named in the AFL Academy's squad. Vic Metro also had him in the summer hub after a much anticipated start to the season where he looked to honours in another ruck battle against Emmett. He would continue the press for the Cannons, also in the major representative fixtures. The strong performances with the AFL Academy against Richmond and Coburg, winning all Australian honours at the Under-18s Championships. The accolades just did not finish there. He played in the AGSV Premiership for the Pegs, and also in a strong performance for Essendon VFL against Sandringham in the last round of the season. So good that he's playing against men in the VFL. Also, his 2025 campaign ended once again in straight sets, but again he performed strongly in postseason. Although he has been compared to another former number one draft pick, who was a basketballer in Fremantle, Luke Jackson. Also, he models his game on recent St Kilda player Tom Ticonin. So yeah, I mean, he'd be going against Luke Jackson in the derby, and that'll be an interesting battle. So you got the young high pick versus another high pick as Luke Jackson. So going to be interesting. Yeah, I see both those sort of players in him. He's just as good as he is in the ruck as he is up forward. So yeah, he's got a dangerous ability to play both of those roles. There's no doubt about that. We're talking about his strengths, athleticism, his clean hands, follow-up work for his size, his mobility for his size, versatility. Obviously can play in the ruck or up forward, just as dangerous. You know, he's still young, still filling out. His physicality is something that needs to be improved over time. And just, work on that ruck craft. If he wants to get up to that AFL standard, he's just going to continue on as he's doing, and he will get there. So yeah, his versatility. He's also debuted for Essendon in the VFL. He was positioned up forward as the second tool, was able to demonstrate his ability to play as an effective key forward and positioning one-on-one to win free kicks. Also presented well in the league. The postseason in the Calder Cannons was a position forward. He had plenty of problems for the opponents. I was spread away on numerous occasions inside 50 or on the outside of the 50 trying to lead up down the ground. He was named in the centre half forward in the All-Australian team of the Under-18s Championship, despite being the number one ruckman for Vic Metro. When it comes to the club that takes him, this will give him and the coaching staff something to strongly consider as how he can break into the side as soon as possible. So yeah, like I mentioned, he could play up forward for the Eagles. I know the Eagles probably need a ruckman. I know they got Flynn. So I mean they could play Flynn as the ruckman, and let's ease this guy in as a forward and a second ruck. I think that should be his position, I would think. And yeah, they need a key forward. Oscar Allen leaving. I think this guy coming in is just a perfect opportunity for the young man. His attributes stand out. Considering his size, he's almost a fourth midfielder, so his ability to work below his knees at ground level is a sight to behold for his size. He's a big man. And also his final game for Vic Metro on the Under-18s Championships, or on both occasions, he showed his ability to help his team by moving around the ground quickly, and helping out defensively as a key marking tool defender, making his way back in the ruck to cover that ground. That attribute of the player and athleticism is quite rare, as undoubtedly will hold him quite high regard. His follow-up work as second efforts has been a great feature for his size on numerous occasions throughout 2025. He would start the role as a fourth midfielder essentially while in the ruck, and would be involved in numerous running passages, chain linking the players, having to spread from contest to contest, showcasing his determination and worked hard as the ball is kept in play. He's been complimented by his skills and also how clean he is by hands and foot. For a big man, he has worked on his disposal throughout the year. and improvements for his size is incredible. His physicality, ruck craft is becoming. It has him have the ability to become a number one ruckman. Considerable amount of development that is needed to fast track him to get to that point is what teams like West Coast will need to have a good ruckman. But yeah, he's experienced some older opponents. Seen in the VFL debut against Sandringham. Despite going in the ruck in the last quarter, he came up against Isaac Keeler, an opponent with reasonable experience. I believe that's the St Kilda ruckman. From what I can't quite remember, Keeler, I'm pretty sure it is. But yeah, it came to test, especially when he has his bodywork at stoppages. He did win numerous ruck battles throughout the season, and his opponents at under 18 level, he sort of ragdolled essentially, and also beaten a few. On most occasions, he beat his opponents, and yeah. So yeah, I still think the South Australian ruckman was a bit unlucky, Ainsworth, not to get picked up, but this guy deserved it. He's got. Arguably the best ruckman, but he was used up forward a lot. Vic Metro were a side that did struggle a fair bit. If this guy was in Vic Country's team, he still would probably would be a second pick. But I mean, that's essentially what he went as, because it got bumped down as all the academy picks that come through, like Harry Dean and Zeke Uden. But he ended up where he would, I think, either way. But I would just added more to his credentials. Could have possibly ended up being a number one pick if he was in Vic Country. That's probably the only difference. So, absolute beast of a player. Arguably one of the best tools in the draft. And I think props to him, because I think a lot of the tools got a bit neglected in this draft. So really, shout out to you for propping up the tools here. Getting in the top 5 is important. Shout out to the tools. So well done, mate. I hope you have a good career. And we're going to talk about pick 19, Josh Lindsay. Arguably one of the best halfbacks in the under-18s national championships. I think, him alongside Jet de Hoots, who was at South Australia's halfback, who didn't get drafted. This man went at pick 19, and he's got the goods. He's quite a good player. He's from the Geelong Falcons, defender, midfielder, so he can play both roles, standing at 183 centimetres. He has a great left foot. His skills and decision making is what makes him one of the highest of this year's draft crops. He's put together a great junior career and resume, established himself as a big game player. Put his name on the map with best on ground performances in last year's under-17s futures match. And also the AFL Academy's second game this year. The 18-year-old went on to nail his spot in the halfback of the Coates Talent League Team of the Year, and also the under-18s All-Australian side. He was tested at elevated levels, and his ball use held him in a good stead, while testing out his midfield craft, increasingly for the Geelong Falcons and Geelong Grammar. So, pretty high-extending school that this man went to. It's probably one of the most expensive schools, I think, in the whole country. They had some stat. For those who don't know, in Australia, that's a very... there's certain schools in each state have higher regard. He grew up supporting North Melbourne, which is interesting. He models his games on the likes of the stars Sydney, Errol Goulden, and also for his inside-out balances, Collingwood champion Scott Pendlebury for his professionalism and longevity. I do see a blend of both of them in him. I think this guy is a little bit like Scott Pendlebury. I quite like. I rated this guy pretty highly. I think I had him in my top 20. Probably roughly where he's. I think I might have had him at 14 or 15, but then he got the academy stuff bumped it down. Like I said in my draft stuff, I went by the players' ratings, not essentially what they were going to go as, because the clubs have all different needs. But we went by what their rating were. So yeah, he is All Australian halfback, Coates Talent League halfback. He's got class. That's his strength, decision making, efficiency, footy IQ, kicking, and vision. Just needs to work on his contested game, obviously being a halfback. Defensive work rate, he's a hard running halfback. That's what it's going to be. His speed, I even seen a bit of a Danny Houston in this guy. I think he's a blend of all those sort of players. But yeah, his primary weapon is obviously his kicking. He's the best ball user in the draft. There's no doubt about that. This man had good efficiency. I think along with him and De Hilts are they're the best halfbacks. I don't know why De Hilts didn't get picked up. This guy, they both deserve, this guy 100% deserved to be drafted, and where he is, I still think De Hilts was snubbed. And doesn't matter what state they are from. We're talking about where players should go and where they're drafted. And this guy absolutely deserves it. But yeah, he has elite skill execution. Also, there are many different elements to make up how his game's played, whether it's by hand, running hard, kicking, just peeling through traffic, and absolutely hitting the targets. That's just why Vic Country was such a good team. He's arguably one of their best players. He sees the game differently to most, extraordinary vision to identify targets in a quick time, and leaning on his foot skills to hit up teammates. His decision making is usually first rate, and that's why every team he plays, he tries to feed. They try to feed the ball to him as much as possible. There's no doubt about that. He's your quarterback from defense. Yeah, absolute steal from West Coast. You got a great player. This is they got such a variety of young stars now. West Coast, they're going to be a team to beat in the future. There's no doubt. They keep that team together. He can bring the ball forward with penetrating long passes, or able to spread it wide as well, or cut inbound with short and sharp kicks. That's how he can hurt the opposition in a wide range of areas. Also, he runs at a high efficiency with large kick-first approach. And his friendly free-roaming role off the half-back, he often sided, taking kick-ins, streaming past teammates for the overlap and run. He demands possession no matter what situation, so he's happy to go in, dig in and work hard. He's even when he invites that unnecessary pressure when looking to put the speed on the ball. He just likes to run out of it, draw in the opponents, free up his teammates. Great ability, and he also has the ability to hang off the back at stoppages. He also runs perfectly, shows his high football IQ. On top of what he does with the ball, there are a few, if any, playmakers or defensive distributors who can lay claim to being as effective as this man is. As we mentioned, he goes end to end, coast to coast type halfback. They don't grow on trees, these guys. These guys have great traits for a reason. And yeah, he has that halfback role down pat. That's his style of play. He's also got the ability to play in the midfield if he wants to. He handles the ball cleanly and knows where to find it. But, he's just knows how to go at full tilt. With running at full tilt and using the ball very well. But yeah, he can work on defensive running more as well. He runs very hard forward. It's very hard to do both efficiently together. But he's so damaging, you're going to have to sacrifice. He's going to run down the ground more often than not. And if good teams can let him use the ball and they have a target he can kick to, that to me is not going to be a problem, because he's going to damage the side more. He's going to damage their opposition more by running through, cutting through, and hitting targets through traffic. the ball's not going to go down defensively because he is just going to cut them through. And as long as the tall forwards can mark, he could be kicking to the man we just spoke about before for a long time. So, yeah, he was tested this year with uptake and speed and pressure, playing at high levels as in the under-18s national championships. 75% of Lindsay's possessions at the national championships were uncontested, meaning he was on the outside run, linking a play. I think that's pretty standard for a half-back. It is clean as this man. He only averaged one tackle a game, but I don't want this guy to be a tackling machine because that's not his role. I would rather him be on the outside, not getting hurt. That's probably more important from that aspect. Yeah, and teams, looking to expose teams in that way. But yeah, it covers Lindsay quite good. I rate that man. So far, they've got a blend of an outside-inside bid being the number one pick. They've got a tool, one of the best tools in the draft. They got best halfback. Last year, they got Harley Reid, one of the best inside midfielders that we've seen for a long time. They are spreading each sort of position very nicely. So very happy with this draft from West Coast perspective. We're looking at how their club and how they're setting up. Very nicely so far. They've got good recruiters in, and they're hitting the targets nicely what they need. So we're going to talk about Sam Allen. So standing at 182 centimeters, he's a wingman, athletic inside and outside midfielder whose running capacity and vertical elite sets him apart. He's built with AFL traits, Sam Allen, and is the Oakley Chargers prospect who came in the top age season with plenty of promise. He only managed 7 games before it was cut short by an ACL injury. Unfortunately, he had an ACL. But he still showcased somewhat of his enough to be selected in also the draft combine, where the 18-year-old sat out testing but garnered the club interest nonetheless. So, yeah, he's quite good. Sorry to hear the man done the ACL. That's quite sad. But, yeah, as his fitness tests saw him the best running vertical elite, 101 centimeters nationwide. So, very good testing. He also took out Oakley's time trial with elite sub 6-minute time. And that would have been good enough to place him in a podium spot, if not pole position, at the end of the year of the combine, which he probably would have worked hard on to get above to be in the top. He was part of Vic Metro Hubs also, and also look forward to stamping his claim on the wing at representative level. His season-ending ACL injury came after playing out a 4-opening block of the Coates Talent League campaign, along with 4 appearances at Scotch College in the APS. Allen had been established as part of the Chargers program, having made his debut as a 16-year-old in 2023, along with 10 bottom-age games last year. He's grandson of Tasmanian Football Hall of Famer and 1968 Melbourne Best and Fairest winner Ray Groom. So, yeah, maybe one that Tassie may want. So, yeah, his strengths: athleticism, competitive nature, leadership, overhead marking, running capacity, versatility, improvements, midfield craft, strength. Obviously, his injury is not what you want. Also, he would have been one of the best, if not the best, in the 2K time trial, which shows that's why he's going to be a wingman. He's got the gas tank to run, the aerobic ability, great versatile leap, so he's going to be able to take a mark, running back in the packs like that. He's also looking to explore more midfield as well as what he'll do, but also opportunities off the halfback. He can run off the halfback. He's got a blend of all those sorts of traits. So yeah, I think that covers him pretty good. So also his toughness and work rate was great traits. They'll hold him in high regard also with leadership roles off field and on field. But during his ACL rehabilitation, he's displayed resilience and drive to come back stronger, drawing inspiration from the likes of Will Ashcroft and Bailey Smith. certainly helps in that regard. So yeah, players now can come back from ACL so much better than 10 years even. I mean, I remember when Tex did his knee, and I think Robbie Gray did his knee. Very early 2010s, might have been 2011 or 2010, or could have been 2012. Don't quote me. It's somewhere in that gap. We're talking within a year or two of each other there, and they just got surgery so much better. Like it's I'm not an expert on anything, doctor diagnosis wise. I just know, obviously playing football, how hard it is with an ACL injury. I had mates that took out association medals and was playing SANFL clubs, and they just did a knee, and it was so sad because that was it for them essentially. We had players like Matthew Primus that do a knee, was never the same again. You could rattle off a list of players throughout before those 2010 sort of years. Everyone all the way back to the 1800s, if you did the ACL, that was it. It was just such a it still is a very big injury. The players are still out for a long time. Sam Pepper just injured, done another knee. He's done two. Some players have done multiple knees. I remember the Sydney player did like 6 knees. Johnson, I think it was. Can't quite remember his name now off the top of my head, but yeah, it is a sad injury. No matter what sport you play, whether it's soccer or American football, any sport, could be tennis even. All sorts of any sport that's around the world. The most devastating injury is an ACL. I mean, so would a neck injury that could severely tarnish someone's career. They're all that sort of, they can just, But props to the doctors for getting surgery so much better. I think, props to the doctors. Thank you for doing that. And, he's still a long way in his recovery. His first major injury, playing for the first full run after the combine, a steady approach getting back to on field as he continues to enhance his inside game and building strength to do so will help make him jump to AFL level. So has a good frame. So we're going to talk about pick 39 now. Tyler Williams, strong Swan District player, small forward, 175 centimetres. He's an energetic small forward whose speed and creativity causes headaches for the opposition defenders. Few forwards are capable of making defenders worry like Tyler Williams. He flew under the radar as throughout a brilliant top age campaign, but arguably leading the talent for the brimming group of West Coast type players in the Next Generation Academy. I'm pretty sure he's an Indigenous lad who, got through with the Eagles Next Generation Academy. And they've selected him. He's originally from Tumbulla, a small country town over 3 hours from south of Perth. With the help of his auntie, he made the move to the Big Smoke. So I'm assuming he must live with his auntie, or his auntie helped him to move to the Big Smoke. At 15 years of age, I hope pursuing a football career. So well done to the auntie there, helping out her nephew. And it's hard leaving the hometowns. I know how I've had mates that found it hard to leave the hometowns because it means a lot to those blokes. And it shows how important family is to them, and also their hometown. So as a bottom ager last year, he played 15 Waffle Colts games for the Swans, booting 16 goals, including 3 on debut. So good little goal sneak. It was part of him what put up the path to produce an even better top-end age season. On the back of the pre-season, the Western Australian State Under-18s program, Williams spent time to play every game for the Sandra Gropers, along with the way he had to his second experience travelling on the airplane. Began to notice higher honours West Coast calling and gave Williams a berth in its waffle side. He played 2 games and adapted well to the speed and cleanliness of senior football. So yeah, played a bit of senior footy. But yeah, he suffered a fracture in his trapezoid bone, which is in the wrist. While training with the Eagles, he didn't play another game, but still made appearances at the National Draft Combine, sporting a splint, lining up the time sheets with three top 10 results. He's now looking forward towards the draft and going anywhere. Open to going anywhere. While the Eagles tied, Williams supports Geelong thanks to his pup, who models his game on Bobby Hill. Yeah, his highlights are a bit like Bobby Hill actually. I agree with that. I think that's a good take and a good player to model your game on too. So yeah, his strengths are agility, creativity, kicking, running power, speed, vertical leap, improvements, contested work. Yeah, just put a bit more muscle on the frame so he doesn't suffer those types of injuries, and that's part and parcel of footy. But here, working on that frame. He's general weapon by his disposal, running power. He's most damaging when in leading and ability to work up the ground. He works hard by losing opponents and driving forward with energy and transition play, which is quite outstanding. That's a trait he has. And yeah, his running ability, he says it's not something he necessarily works on, but he also ran a solid 2K time trial at the draft, but he stood out more in the speed stakes with a second place in the 20-metre sprint at 2.8 seconds and fourth in the agility at 7.8 seconds. So his speed and agility is great. That's a very good trend to have on both those aspects of football, and also the goal sense around goal. Yeah, so sees him blow up the GPS each game. It's great work rate, and also a sense of effectiveness as he's the connection piece, moving the ball down forward. He loses opponents as the player moves forward. He runs hard. He's a crafty decision maker. He has vision. His dual-sidedness allows him to execute sharp passes on the fly. He can kick both feet. Pride himself also is hard to defend against. He also has quite a big spring for a small player. He sweeps on the loose ball. He utilizes his vertical leap to quite good overhead marking, which is compared to Bobby Hill's type play. So I could see that exactly. He's a very much similar player. He suits the outside leaning method of transitional football, obviously chain link of play, running the ball down hard. Yeah, he did quite well at his senior 2 levels at Waffle. I think that covers him very nicely. What I mate, you get to stay in the home state and play for a team that's close to home, and I think that's important. Well, mate, we're going to talk about Fred Rodriguez, arguably one of WA's best players throughout the under-18s championships. He's a midfielder, standing at 184 centimetres. And, yeah, he's dual-footed midfielder who runs hard both ways. He burst on the scene as a bottom-age campaigner for the Western Australian talent heading into the 2025. Injury saw him miss out on representing the state under-16 championships in 2023. Made up for lost time as he had 11 appearances in the Colts, South Fremantle, averaging 22 disposals. Very consistent player. Also, the Western Australian midfielder established himself in WA's state side for the under-18s championships with a full amount of games at 4. In the national championship, he went on to earn a selection also in the national under-17s futures program and inducted into the AFL Academy after that. He followed through the full season of pre-season for the league selection in round 1. Season proper, it was his one and only game at that level. Also made reserves appearances in round 18. After a strong state campaign where he captained WA, so he was captain of WA, earning All-Australian honours also, and the Black Swans MVP award, so he is arguably the best MVP for his state selection. All Australian, WA captain. Yeah, this man did slide quite. Good on West Coast. They got this guy for free in the rookie draft. Once again, a guy that should have went a lot higher than this. I know WA weren't as good, but he was their captain. He's the MVP of their state. He has got all Australian honours. Can't argue with that. It's quite good. His Colt season where he's again averaging 25 disposals, 5 tackles a game, and a goal per his 8 games. So quite good. Disposal wise, he's averaging over 25 tackles. He likes to tackle 5 a game, and a goal per game makes him what you'd describe as an elite midfielder. And showcasing his running ability at the draft combined with terrific 2K time trial and stopping the clock at 6:20, 7th overall, and now he's a Fremantle fan ready to make his jump to the AFL. So now he plays for West Coast. He's playing for the enemy. I don't think he cares. He got drafted. He's got a point to prove. Freo could have picked this man up, but they went with who they got. I still think this guy has got a lot of talent. I think he is going to be good. Clean hands, consistency, dual-footed. His leadership, being a captain, running power, work rate. Yeah, he's got to work on his kicking efficiency and speed. Yeah, prides himself on contested ball. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I think he's a hard worker. Obviously, averaged 5 tackles a game. Dual-footed. He can dump the kick sometimes out of congestion. A bit of blaze away, but, they're probably under pressure a lot more at state level than they were than the South Australian teams. And also the Vic country, I think, they're like the 3rd or 4th best team. So he's going to be under pressure at that level. Yeah, he can work on that. I think that covers him quite well. He played up forward for the National Academy also, so he's got good goal sense. I think that covers it quite well. So they got arguably WA's best midfielder. They got Vic Country's best midfielder, Dersma. They got Duff Tyler, arguably the best forward in the draft. Tall, and also one of the best forwards, tall forwards. You can play him at either role. There's no doubt about that. Lindsay, the halfback. I mean, they've got so many positions tied up, West Coast, for this. This could be a draft that sets them up for another 10 years, barring injuries, if they can keep all these guys on and develop them alongside Harley Reid. I think they've done really well. I think this some people rated their draft as a C. I'm going to go the opposite. I'm going to rate it an A. I think if you look at those roles that are covered, we're specifically talking about roles that teams need to cover. That's what a draft's for, and that's how they go about the draft. The list managers come in, the coach comes in, they have a list of what they need. They nailed it. That's West Coast's draft chats. We got one more Western Bulldogs next, and then we're on to the AFL season. We're going to come in all ready and loaded, so plenty of the chat about. We're going to snag a guest eventually. We're just building up. It's been a very busy time for me. Like and subscribe. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy the Sunday and have a safe one. Thank you.